Hi guys, James at Rampant Lion Reviews again for you today with another beer review. For this one we are going to head back to Japan, and I've got a beer from Nagano Prefecture for you today. Very famous for its ski slopes of course, but we're going to return to Olaho beer today, and we're having a taste of one of their seasonals. This one is released under the Biere De Rydeen name of course, and it is the Summer Weizen. Now this is another beer that I picked up from Koji at liquor store Asahiya in Taishibashi, Maichi, Osaka. He's got a really nice beer store there, so make sure you check out the link to his Facebook page in the description below. He's got some really nice stuff there. Make sure you check out. As always with my Japanese beer reviews as well, I'll give a few shout outs to Michiko, my girlfriend, my friend Lee in Osaka, and also to Casey and Eric at Sotogami Akihabara. Make sure you check out their channel if you're particularly interested in Japanese craft beer. They've got some really nice videos over there, both in English and in Japanese of course, so make sure you check out their channel. But anyway, as is usual with my beer reviews then, I'll tell you a little bit about the brewery. If you do want to get straight to the tasting, just fast forward. All the usual links are in the description below. That's the brewery website, the link to the other Olaho beer reviews I've done before. I will add more in the near future of course. There's all the usual social media. If you want to see more beer reviews, do subscribe to the channel. The whole channel uses a geography based tagging system, so you can search for beer based on country, city or state, whatever you're interested in. There's also some playlists of beers from different countries as well, including a Japanese beer playlist, and if you are interested in Japanese beer, make sure you check out Casey and Eric's channel like I said. And as always, please do get in touch and let me know some of the other beers and breweries you guys would like to see me review on the channel. But anyway, to tell you a little bit about Olaho beer. So Olaho are from Nagano Prefecture, which is to the northwest of Tokyo. The company's origins date back to the Tobumachi Development and Promotion Corporation, which began business in July 1994. So this company initially ran the Yurarikan hot spring facility, but in 1996 they officially started their beer operations as Tobumachi G Beer Club, with the beers being sold under the label Olaho Beer. Of course in Japan this is common, that you have a parent company and then the beers have their own kind of separate name. But the company changed its official name in 2004 to Shinsu Tomishi Public Corporation after the Tobumachi and Kitamamaki Mura districts merged to form Tomi. So the original head brewer is Ryoji Kobayashi, but he's now a corporate director at the brewery. He studied brewing at Tokyo University of Agriculture and later trained in Seattle and at Sumidagawa Brewing, a division of Asahi Beer. Under him the brewery started with three main beers, the Golden, the Amber and the Porter, and the brewery actually and its attached restaurant proved hugely popular since it opened, and in 1997 they began producing bottles and cans of beer to be sold throughout Japan. The company apparently struggled in 1999 because people perceived the brewery to be a sort of souvenir beer rather than a kind of serious craft beer brewery, and this was mainly because they were a public-private company. But the director Totsuka Masaki actually ensured that the company culture has changed, and the brewery have been doing very well ever since. The current brewer is Takahashi Yamakoshi, and he joined the company in 2003 and became head brewer in 2006 when Kobayashi retired. So they do have quite a range of beers these days. They've got the Golden Ale, the Amber Ale and the Pale Ale all in their regular range, and they do have the seasonal beers. Like I said, these ones are released under the Biere De Rydeen name, and they've got the Summer White, the Summer Weizen, the Autumn IPA and also the Winter Porter as well. So like I said to you, this one is the Biere De Rydeen Summer Weizen, and this guy comes in at 5.5%, so it should be a really nice beer for us to try. So let's get stuck into this one then and see how we get on. I'll just bring up the camera and let you have a little look at the artwork on this one. There you can see this is the typical artwork for all the Biere De Rydeen releases that you get from Olaho beer, and they all have different stickers on them that identify them as different things. So this one, as it says down here, this one is Weizen, so you can see that there, Bai so yeah, I'm remembering my katakana there, but this guy, as I say, comes in at 5.5%, and it should be really nice actually. All the beers that I've had, I tried the Captain Crow Extra Pale Ale from these guys, and it was really lovely, so I'm very much looking forward to trying this one for you today. It's always cool to try some Japanese craft beer. So let's get this guy out and we'll get it into the glass then. Really looking forward to this. The Captain Crow Extra Pale Ale, incidentally, that these guys do is a really, really good pale ale, and it's probably one of the most reasonably priced beers in Japan that you're going to come across. It's 350 yen for a little can like this, 330 millilitres or 350, so it's a very, very reasonably priced craft beer for Japan. Of course, the Japanese malt taxes mean that beer is quite an expensive commodity in Japan. So as you can see, this guy's poured a really kind of bright pale golden straw colour. The head on this beer has just disappeared actually. But like I say, 5.5% Weizen beer. If I put my hands behind the glass there, you can see the beer is kind of transparent in colour, but there is a degree of opacity there. Some big bubbles sticking towards the side of the glass, but quite a few little ones just going up towards the bottom of where that head should be. So let's sugar it up and see if we can get an aroma out of this one. Doesn't seem to be any head or carbonation. Getting some more carbonation out of it now as we sugar it up. But yeah, it definitely smells like a nice kind of Weizen wheat beer sort of thing. Really lovely aroma coming off of this one. So this one has a nice wheat smoothness to the base, as you'd expect. There's a little bit of clovey spice, maybe a bit of banana coming out of it as well. You can smell sort of coriander coming out of this one. Kind of coriander can always be a bit distinctive, and I'm definitely getting it out of this beer. But yeah, really interesting nose from this one. And we're getting a wee bit of grassy and kind of floral aromatic hops. Mainly lighter and grassy though. There's a bit of kind of sharper lemony citrus coming from this beer too. But as you'd expect from this style, the focus really is on the malt base on this one. So if there's a nice wheaty malt base, like I said, there's a bit of thicker bready character coming out of it. Some sort of banana notes. You've got that big bready yeasty character like I was saying. There's a bit of kind of coriander spice, maybe some clove in there too. But yeah, it has everything you'd expect from a wheat beer. But the summer Weizen beer, or Weizen as they would say in Japanese, there's actually two different ways to spell Weizen. Of course, it's not a Japanese word, so you can say Weizen or you can say Baizen in Japanese. So there's two different katakana ways of spelling this beer style. So yeah, you sometimes see that and they can be spelt differently, so just beware of that if you are looking up different Japanese craft beers. But this one smells really nice. I know this brewery have a good pedigree, so let's get stuck into it. So this one is the Summer Weizen from the Biere De Rydeen range from Oloho Beer in Nagano Prefecture in Japan. Let's get stuck into this beer. Kanpai. That's nice actually. That's a really nice, quite light, drinkable beer. So as you'd expect, especially when it's a Japanese beer, Japan of course is a very, very hot country, so they like their beers to be very light in the mouthfeel actually, and you definitely get that from this one. This one's got a really wet, nicely drinkable mouthfeel to it. So in the middle of the palate you're getting a nice light pale malt character that just goes right across the middle of the tongue there. There's a lovely kind of sweetness to the wheat in this. It must be Japanese wheat that's been put into this beer because it tastes different from any other wheat beer I've come across before. But yeah, there's a nice distinct bit of there's a nice distinct kind of coriander flavour about this, but it's very smooth and quite light. There's a little bit of clovey spice coming out as well. Maybe a wee bit of almost, not quite biscuity sweetness, but there is a bit of grainy character to this one also. But this is lovely. It's really nice, light and smooth, this beer. I certainly wouldn't hesitate to drink this again. It's got a nice little bit of hoppy character to it as well. It's very juicy. Around the edges of the palate you're getting a nice, slightly floral, but mainly grassy hop. It really is quite wet and moist around the edge of your palate there. There's a nice little bit of citrusy character just behind the front curve of the tongue. You get this little bit of sharp citrusy character in there. But that's really nicely done. Lovely beer, this one. Very easy drinking. So a little bit of citrus, like I said. The hoppy side of this beer really is more grassy. There is a little bit of floral character at the front corners of the palate, but other than that, Like I say, really grassy. The malt base is interesting, nice kind of light wheaty character. There's a bit of kind of spiciness to it, that wheaty spice, a little bit of clove, maybe a wee bit of coriander as well, but overall it is quite smooth and quite bready, this one. It's a very wet, quite drinkable beer. So if you like a wheat beer that's well suited for the heat, this is one that's definitely going to do that for you. But yeah, that's really nice. So yeah, in terms of the mouthfeel, I'd say this guy is quite light bodied. Like I said, very, very wet in its mouthfeel, maybe slightly oily. There's a nice sweetness to the malt base there, but other than that, it's very smooth. The hoppy side of this beer has a little bit of dryness, but overall it's quite wet and moist. It really is a very easy drinking beer, this one. So if you get the chance to try this, I highly recommend that you do. Those of you watching in Japan might want a beer, especially with the heat that you get over there. This one really is suited for those kind of days. Wheat beers, of course, I always found when I lived in Germany that wheat beers could be a little bit they could be a little bit heavy. I always found that I could only drink one of them, but this is a very, very sessionable beer. And the thing you'll always find with beers in Japan that are brewed in this German style, all the elements of the flavour that you expect are there, but they're just a little bit toned down, and that's of course to suit the Japanese palate. But with Olaho, this one actually has all the flavours, but they tone the beer down a little bit by making the mouth feel a little bit more wet. The German ones are a little bit more hoppy and bitter, whereas this one has that nice wet mouthfeel, which makes it really quite sessionable. So it's a really good beer in that regard, and I certainly wouldn't hesitate to drink it again. And hopefully I can try the porter beer that they do in this Biere De Rydeen range as well. I've heard the porter beer is really good, so hopefully Michiko can bring me one of those when she comes to visit at Christmas time. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this beer review. It's been really cool to return to Olaho beer and have a look at one of their seasonal beers. I hope you guys have enjoyed this review. If you have tried the beer for yourself, do let me know your own thoughts on it in the comments section below. Always interesting to hear from you guys that are watching the videos, and until the next time, please like, subscribe, share, all the usual YouTube stuff. Do check out my social media, but most importantly, make sure you support your local craft breweries, and do let me know some of the other Japanese beers and breweries that you guys would like to see me review. And you can also go and check out Casey and Eric at Sotogami Akihabara, two really nice American guys who have some really interesting beer reviews, both in Japanese and in English. They focus primarily on the Japanese craft beer scene, so make sure you check them out, but most importantly, go and check out some of your local Japanese craft beers. Until the next time, it's Slanja just now, Kampai, and I will catch you very soon. Cheers.